Donald Trump criticizes those who deny the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program and assures that the entire Iranian nuclear program was destroyed. At the same time, Trump has already announced new negotiations between the United States and Iran, although he added that now the nuclear deal is not so necessary for the United States. Israel, on the other hand, insists that Iran's nuclear program has been weakened and pushed back by several years. Meanwhile, in Iran, they are already demanding financial compensation from the United States for all the destroyed nuclear infrastructure. Nevertheless, Trump has already stated that he is ready to lift oil sanctions from Iran, and he doesn't mind if China buys more Iranian oil instead of Russian. But if Iran keeps acting up, Trump is ready to repeat the strikes, which he compared to the United States attack on Hiroshima. My name is Alexei Pechi. Today is June 25th. We will discuss all these aspects of this topic in this episode. But before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave any comment you want. Also, subscribe to my Telegram channel, Peachy News. The link is in the description of this video, and there we publish breaking news as it comes in. So, in the last 24 hours, there have been a lot of speculations about whether Iran's nuclear program has been destroyed or not. These speculations have become so loud that they made Donald Trump nervous. So let's figure it out together. Today, United States President Donald Trump repeated his statement that United States strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities have led to their complete destruction. Although he later admitted that the intelligence was not final and was preliminary. The initial secret Pentagon intelligence report, which was leaked to the media, showed that the attack only set back Tehran's nuclear program by several months, but did not destroy it. Trump, on the other hand, stated that the United States strikes on Iran were very successful. Here is the quote. As you know, last weekend the United States successfully carried out a massive precision strike on nuclear weapons enrichment facilities in Iran. And it was very, very successful. That's called destruction. No other military on earth could have done this. And now this incredible display of American strength has paved the way for peace with a historic ceasefire agreement. Overall, Trump repeatedly today refuted early assessments by American intelligence regarding the strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, which stated that the attack did not destroy the main components of that country's nuclear program. And when asked by a reporter what his message was to the intelligence community, who say that the facilities were damaged but not destroyed, Trump responded, quote, "They presented a report that wasn't finished. We're talking about something that happened just 3 days ago. They didn't see it. All they can do is guess. The nuclear facility is destroyed, completely destroyed." In this situation, Donald Trump's team is more cautious, not as loud. For example, at the NATO summit briefing in The Hague, Trump asked United States Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth to comment on the strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. Hegseth dodged the question and said that doubting the seriousness of the strike is an insult to the team that carried out the operation. But Hegseth decided that it was better not to make statements about the success of the operation prematurely. Guest Secretary of State Marco Rubio was even more cautious. He simply stated that Iran now has fewer opportunities to quickly produce nuclear weapons. And today it is much further from that because of the United States strikes on the country's 3 nuclear facilities. Next is a quote from Marco Rubio. "Intelligence leaks are one of the most unpleasant things. Wherever it may be, the Iranian nuclear program today is significantly behind where it was a week ago. Today it is in much worse condition than it was a week ago because of actions by the United States and some actions taken by the Israelis." So the point is that today they are much farther from nuclear weapons than they were before President Trump took this bold step. Very significant, substantial damage was done to a number of different components. The United States is only learning more about this since the damage occurred deep underground. End quote, Marco Rubio. And of course, I'll give the assessment of Israel and Iran. The Israel Atomic Energy Commission stated in its announcement that the United States strike on the Fordo nuclear facility destroyed critical infrastructure at the site and disabled the enrichment facility. Next, I'll quote the Israel Atomic Energy Commission. We assess that the American strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, combined with Israeli strikes on other elements of Iran's military nuclear program, have set back Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons by many years. This achievement can continue indefinitely if Iran does not gain access to nuclear materials. Well, here is what the representative of the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Esmail Baghei, said, quote, "Our nuclear facilities have been seriously damaged, that's for sure, as they have repeatedly been attacked by Israeli and American aggressors. The Atomic Energy Agency of Iran is still working on a technical assessment of Iran's nuclear facilities." In short, at the moment we can say that Iran's nuclear facilities have definitely been damaged, but it's far too early to talk about their destruction. Nevertheless, this did not stop Donald Trump from starting a new round of negotiations with Iran. Trump announced today in The Hague that as early as next week the United States will meet with Iran to discuss a potential nuclear agreement, although Trump has repeatedly stated that he doesn't consider such a deal all that necessary anymore. Here's a quote from Trump. "We'll talk to them next week. We can sign an agreement with Iran. I don't know, although I don't think it's all that necessary. I mean, they had a war, they were fighting, now they're returning to their own world. I don't care whether I have an agreement or not." The United States will demand the same commitments that we were seeking in negotiations with Iran before the recent escalation of tensions. But I'll say it again. Now I don't consider such an agreement necessary, since the United States has successfully destroyed Iran's nuclear potential. We don't want nuclear weapons, but we have destroyed nuclear weapons. In other words, they are destroyed. I said Iran will not have nuclear weapons. Well, we blew it up, it's blown to hell, and that's why I don't really care about it. If we got a document that is an agreement, it wouldn't be bad. We're going to meet with them and we'll see. Well, and here Trump, as you understand, says to listen. And now this agreement doesn't really make much sense anymore. I mean, before it made sense for the alliance, for something in America, for Iran to stop its nuclear program, but now the Americans don't really need this agreement. But nevertheless, Trump is again offering Iran some perks, like carrots. There's the stick, and now there are the carrots. I'll explain which ones in a moment. In the meantime, let me remind you that before the 12-day war, the United States offered Iran to keep its uranium enrichment capabilities, but only at above-ground facilities, and only in a consortium with other countries, and only under full supervision of inspectors. Like, listen, you already have centrifuges, you are already enriching this uranium, so why not make money from this, but do it together? Do it in a civilized, open way and make money from it. And after Iran rejected this idea, Israel began the attack on June 13th. And today Donald Trump is offering Iran a new incentive. Trump stated that Iran would need oil money to restore the country and said that he does not mind if China buys more Iranian oil instead of Russian oil. Next, I will quote Donald Trump. "Listen, they just had a war, they fought bravely, but I won't give up either. They are in the oil business. I mean, I could have stopped it if I wanted to sell oil to China myself. I don't want to do that. They'll need money to get the country back to the way it was. We want that to happen. If they're going to sell oil, they're going to sell oil. We're not going to seize their oil." Moreover, on his way to the NATO summit on Tuesday, Trump posted the following on Truth Social. "China can now continue to buy oil from Iran. I hope they'll also buy a lot from the United States. It would be a great honor for me to make that happen." Basically, Trump is hinting here that if Iran is ready to take a civilized approach, he's willing to lift some sanctions and allow Iran to earn money from oil. But is Iran ready for civilized development? That's the question. Today, the Iranian parliament voted to suspend cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. That means all the inspectors definitely won't get in anywhere now, although since 2021 they haven't been able to get in anywhere anyway. But that same Iranian parliament did not approve the suspension of Iran's membership in the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. So this agreement is intended to control and prevent the global spread of nuclear weapons, as well as to promote the peaceful use of nuclear technologies. They did not withdraw from this treaty. And now Iran is demanding compensation from the Americans for the destroyed nuclear infrastructure. And Israel is not going to stop either. Today, Israel's Defense Minister Yisrael Katz signed an order designating the Central Bank of Iran and other financial organizations as terrorist entities. Quote, "The order targets the heart of the Iranian regime's terror financing system, which manages, funds, and arms terrorism throughout the Middle East via the Quds Force and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps." So, as you understand now, the attack will be directed at Iran's financial structure. This is what I was talking about, that the hot phase of the war is stopping, but the war itself is not ending. And Israel will use other tools to further weaken Iran to the point where Iran not only won't look like a threat, but will be as weakened as possible. I'll leave it at that. Write your opinion about the negotiations that Trump wants to resume with Iran. Do they make sense, and what could they be about? Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so financially with any donation. By using the links and details in the description of this video, or by scanning the quick response code on your screens. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Subtitles created by